Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz March 27, 2016, 12:09 a.m. in Birmingham. Topic, prophecies. Man wrote some prophecies. He put it in the paper, and people thought he was crazy. But it was published in the paper and then later taken and put it in a book. But let me tell you what this man said in prophecies. He said, these things will happen throughout this world, but since he's an American, he's pointing, well, I say American, he's pointing at America. He said, this is what you will see in the future. He didn't say you might see these things. He said, these things you will see, and here is the list. People thought he was crazy, but he said in the future, Atlantis would be found, and it would be North America, Central America, and South America to Peru. He talked about the deep underground facilities 3,000 feet down and skyscrapers a half mile tall, wind and water turbines, automatic atmospherical devices, genetic laboratories, electrical devices, lasers, industrial manufacturing, powerful telescopes, spectacles for the eyes, and magnifying glasses, audio devices, advanced firearms and missiles, flying machines, submarines, and holograph projections. They walked away from him and said, "You're an idiot." This man kept talking. He didn't say that it might be this way in the future. He said, you will have these things in the future. Now, who could say something like that? That things that hadn't been yet heard of? Well, maybe somebody that had one of the books of Enoch, or maybe two, or even maybe three. But anyway, we know that Hitler sent teams out looking for the origin of the third eye, the all-seeing eye. He thought that it may have come from India, but people look and said, look, some places you just don't look for something so advanced. India can't even feed themselves, so they go in a different direction. So many people have been and are still searching for the keys to unlock all mysteries. Now look, this guy's writing this down, okay? And have the knowledge of the angels that taught man the art of making. Everything, remember, metals, weapons, DNA mixing, splicing of genes, plant to animal, animal and fish, fish and birds, man and fish, bees and birds, plant and animal, and so on. If it lived, they spliced the DNA. Then there was witchcraft, drugs, and today's technologies, just to name a few. As Hitler looked for this knowledge, many people even today say that that knowledge is with the Hindus. But again, no, these people can't feed themselves. They don't have the knowledge. So once again, they quit looking there. But yet, there's an all-seeing eye somewhere, and Hitler thinks that's where it is. Well, Hitler probably had in his possession two books. God told Enoch, write books, write of everything that they do. And he's talking about the 200 angels that fell from heaven, came down, and they're the watcher angels, and they mated with the daughters of men. The daughters of men were beautiful, and they bargained with the fathers. So look, we will give you this knowledge. Let me have this woman. You got a deal. So this went on and on and on, and God told Enoch, he said, I want you to write a book for everything that they do. And for all the rest of your years, I want a book. So that's what Enoch did. God put that knowledge in front of Enoch, where actually what happened, some people say it happened like this. God told Enoch, you know what happened. You were here. You saw all that they did. So God gave Enoch like a magic pen, okay, and some paper. And this pen is like today you may have a device that you scan straight lines over print and it transcribes it somewhere else. But to have that type of script that was used back in those days, it would take a man years just to write a couple of dozen pages. I mean, think of how they had to master everything. There's no lines drawn, you know. Anyway, I spent too much time there, but God helped Enoch in some way write those books. There were 365 of them. We know of two, and the two that we know of just mentioned all the things I told you. This man predicted all these things that we would have in our future. Some things he said that got way out there, but I'm going to tell you about those. We know that the more of these books that could be found, the more knowledge that man would have. And so this man that wrote this article mentioned the Illuminati, mentioned the Bilderbergers. He also mentioned that they were trillionaires. Wow, I mean, how this is a long time ago when he wrote these prophecies, but he wrote that. He said they were trillionaires, and their goal is to form a one world government under their command. They had an easier time doing it, you would think, back when that day, but I guess not. I guess today's the easier day to form a new world order and have one person over it. This is their goal. So if they were worth $1 trillion, then imagine how much they're worth now. My guess, they're probably worth 100 times that, minimum, maybe 200 times that. And the reason I'm telling you about this is because of the timing, the way that everything's going right now today. What this man wrote has all come to pass. Every bit of it except this much of it. Now, he also mentioned of things that had already happened. And he had to have had the Bible in his hand to read certain things. One being that when Jesus cast the legions of fallen or demonic spirits out of the man, they said, have you come to punish us before our time? That meant that they knew that it wasn't their time to die. And Jesus didn't respond to them. But they knew that our time's not yet. And so the man that wrote this prophecy knew that as well. So knew that sometime in his future. Well, I'll go ahead and give you the year that this happened. This man is Francis Bacon. He wrote this in the year of 1632. And everything that he wrote has come to pass. Every prophecy has come to pass. And much more, by the way. That's not all of it. And in order to have known some of it, he would have had to have seen a part of or read part of, or either somebody gave him part of, at least a third book of Enoch. So the Enoch was, we know that Hitler had two books at least. When I say two books, you talk about, I'm talking about what we have today, he had then, but I'm talking about two other books, like a third and a fourth, because they would have described in detail how to build a flying saucer. And Hitler had flying saucers. This man even said how many Jews that Hitler would kill in his day to build a perfect race. And all his prophecies came to pass. So again, that was Francis Bacon, and that said that. In the year that he said that was in 1626. And I just opened the wrong window, sorry. And anyway, I'll end it there. Jody Wolf, Expoz.